We are live. Hey everyone, I'm Karlyn Borysenko. This is Decode the Left. This is a live stream that I'm doing over on my Substack, which is Karlyn, Karlyn, .substack.com. I do these live streams on Substack exclusively, so make sure you download the Substack app, get notifications when I go live, stuff like that. I also upload them to Twitter and YouTube most of the time afterwards, so you can usually find them there as well if you can't make it to the live show over here. Can I just tell you guys, I am so depressed right now. I'm having a depressed day because we are so outplayed by the left. It's not even funny. It's not even funny how outplayed we are by the left. It's like, it's actually really sad and really pathetic. And specifically in this case, I'm thinking about the K through 12 public schools, which most conservatives seem to be convinced are just totally fine now that Trump is in office, and he wrote a couple executive orders and things like that. And so now conservatives are like, "There's nothing more to see here. The problem's been solved." And I'm like, "Yo, you guys don't even know. You guys don't even know." Carrie Shaw says, "Best Substack ROI right here." Hey, thanks, Carrie. I appreciate the support. So I was just perusing through some education related trainings on the left. Can I show you guys some of the things that I've been looking at? And keep in mind, I'm only looking right now at one organization on the left. Well, I guess technically there are three organizations, but they all work together. It's the Zen Education Project, it's Rethinking Schools, and it's Teaching for Change, which are all three far left radical revolutionary socialist education organizations. Let me just show you. Let me just show you. Hang on, what is the best way to do this? Here we go. Let me just show you the list of education opportunities and workshops on the Zen Education Project website. And these are for teachers all over the country. And I want to show you what the left has set up to do basically on this agenda. And keep in mind, this is with Donald Trump's executive orders, and they don't give a flying flip. So we've got a Mass Teachers Academy. This was actually last week. I think, the other day. A decade of creation, resistance, and mass legacies in, I guess this is around in Texas. So they're doing a workshop in Texas about how to teach social justice related curriculum. That was last week. They're doing some Civil War thing. That's probably okay. 20th Annual Teach Climate Network Summer Institute. So this is a whole 3-day conference about how to teach climate change in schools. Democracy Defenders Summer Series. Let's see, this is in Nashville, Tennessee. Freedom to Learn Democracy's Defender Summer Seminar and Summit is meeting the moment, uncovering the racial history of American fascism. So they've got a whole, this is like a week-long workshop all about uncovering the racial history of American fascism. Again, keep in mind, these are events for teachers. These are teacher training events that the left has going. This is just in July, guys. Teen Advocacy Institute, Power to the Readers, presented by the National Coalition Against Censorship's Youth Free Expression Program and Brooklyn Public Library. Oh, libraries. And that's virtual? Well, let's just pull that one up. Hang on, what's going on with this one? What's going on with this one? Can we register for this one? Let's see. Oh, we have to apply. Oh, it apparently already went by. That's all right. A whole virtual summit for kids to do library justice or whatever. All right, let's go back to the schedule. 6th Annual Social and Economic Justice Film Festival. So social justice movies, virtual and in person in San Francisco. Take a look at that one. 2025 Social Justice Curriculum Fair in Washington, D.C. DC Area Educators for Social Justice is hosting its annual Social Justice Curriculum Fair inspired at Inspired Teaching Demonstrations, and it's got the address. This fair is an opportunity for DC educators to connect in person while exploring curriculum aligned with various social justice themes. How the World is Past, Remembering Slavery and How It Shaped America. Primary source histories of indigenous enslavement and colonization. Native knowledge teaching. Original sins, the miseducation of Black and Native children and the construction of American racism. The annual meeting and conference for the study of South African life and history. Banned Books Week. What is the Bob Moses Conference? This year's hybrid conference, which is hosted by Bob Moses Fund, is anchored in history, focused on the future. Oh, education and mass incarceration. Okay, so this is going to be an Abolish the Police conference. Ooh, it's in Massachusetts. That's fun. 12th Annual Northwest Teaching for Social Justice Conference. I'm pretty sure Bettina Love has spoken at this conference in the past. King of the North. This is some rethinking schools, Black education thing. Police against the movement, the sabotage of civil rights struggles. And okay, so this is saying the police are the real enemy and the police need to abolish. I can see Jesse Agopian's in that one too. 2025 NAME Annual International Conference. Let's see. NAME is National Association for Multicultural Education. Okay, there we go. NCSS, what's the NCSS? National Council for Social Studies, because democracy depends on it. So that kind of seems to me like it's an entire social studies conference about how to teach social studies and have that be social justice. We've got the Howard Zinn Book Fair, Fight Supremacy, Actions Against Authoritarianism. All right. Black History is for everyone. What is this? Organization of American Historians. Oh, an American History Conference. All right. So this is just one list of events on one social justice website. And I want people to understand there's a whole lot more stuff that's going on in the country that's not on that list. What is the right doing? Is the right holding any conferences like that? Are the right holding any events like that? Is the right having any discussion like that at all? Is there anything going on the right that even comes close to resembling the effort that the left is putting in? And listen, the left does this all the time, because I know there's going to be some people. I just accidentally brought up some code on my screen. That's real weird. I know there are going to be some people who say, well, Karlyn, the left is just doing this because Trump is in office and they're afraid of him, right? They're afraid of Trump. The left isn't afraid of Trump. The left does shit like this like all the time. This is very typical for the left. This is very typical for that Zen Education Project calendar. I've been tracking them for like probably 3 years. So this isn't just because Trump is in office. This isn't because they're afraid of Trump. This is what the left does all the time, whether they have the presidency, whether they don't have the presidency. And so it's kind of like, I don't know how we can possibly ever beat them if there is literally no opposition to them in any way. You know, the left keeps their nose down. They just keep pushing forward no matter what happens, no matter if they lose an election or if they don't. It doesn't really matter. They just keep pushing forward. They just keep training more people on their crazy ideas. They just keep pushing into schools. They just keep hosting workshops. They just keep hosting educational opportunities. They just keep hosting conferences. Like, this is why it is such a massive disservice that conservatives shit on education. Because conservatives don't just shit on education in schools, they also shit on going to conferences, going to educational events, going to book readings, stuff like that. They don't want to put the time in. It's too hard. It's too long. Why can't you just do it for me? Why can't you just tell me what it says? It's like the left is not afraid of doing the work. They're not afraid of organizing in a way that's required to get people on the same page. And it's like, if you are just completely unwilling to do that on our side, then I don't know how you ever expect to beat them. I don't get it. Melissa says, I was first exposed to diversity training DEI as a volunteer for the Florida Public Schools around 2010. It took a while for me to realize the Marxist influence. Yeah, all that stuff in that calendar we just went over, it's all Marxist. It's all Marxist. Stephanie says the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards is pushing the same agenda, training teachers in colleges. Yeah. So the left, so since Donald Trump got elected and since Donald Trump was in office, what is it? We're going on to like 7 months. So he's been in office 6 months. On day 1 or 2, he issued the executive orders around getting equity and non-binary and critical race theory bullshit out of K through 12 public schools. And it's still in it. Not only is not only did Trump not effectively ban anything in public schools, they're holding entire conferences on how to teach the things that are in the Trump executive orders that they claim were banned. And the Trump administration isn't doing shit about this. I can tell you for an absolute fact, I have given information to very high-level people in the Trump administration showing emphatically teachers admitting they are breaking Trump's executive orders, and they don't care, and they have the full support of their board to do it, and if Trump wants to come after them, they can, and they don't care. Like, I have this on video. Has the Trump administration done anything about it? Nope. Has the Trump administration, have the people in the Trump administration who got it even acknowledged that they got it? Nope. Did they get it? Yes, they did. They absolutely did. And so it's not as though the Trump administration doesn't know about any of this. It's that they don't fucking care. And that's just what is like so depressing right now. It gets hard covering the left at some point because believe me, like I understand when you're on an outsider perspective and you might be watching, live streams with your favorite influencer or whatever, and they pretend that they care. They talk a big game about communism and socialism. They get people all riled up with it because that's how they make their money. That's how they get their clicks. That's how they get their support, is making people angry about the left. But when it comes to actually doing anything of value, when it comes to actually going after the real left, nothing ever happens. And I think that for me, that is one of the toughest parts of what I do, is knowing emphatically how much does not get done. Knowing emphatically how much bullshit the right ignores and how much bullshit the influencers ignore. Melissa says the book bans are ineffective. Yeah, you're goddamn right, the book bans are ineffective. Teachers and parents are raising money to purchase all those books and then they give them away to the kids for free. Yeah, the book bans were never going to work. And for people who are newer to me, I called out that the book bans weren't going to work in 2021, literally as soon as the book ban started. I said, this is a stupid idea. This isn't going to work for reasons X, Y, B, and Z. And guess what? Tens of millions of dollars got eaten up on the right to go to the book bans, the book bans, the book bans, the book bans, the book bans. Moms for Liberty is still fucking raising money off of the book bans that don't even work. They don't even work. They don't keep the books out of the schools for the most part. The books that are removed from the schools are replaced immediately because the left owns all sorts of publishing companies. And guess what? They just write more books and they just replace the books. And then the leftist librarians who work in the libraries buy those books or they sneak them into the collection. I have them on video saying this. But the right can't be bothered to understand their enemy. The right can't be bothered to understand what the real problem is. And so they just throw all this money, millions and millions of dollars at bullshit. Do you know how much I could do if I had millions of dollars to work with? Do you have any idea the information that we could put together, the knowledge base that we could put together, the real-time tracking that we could put together if I had millions of dollars to work with like Moms for fucking Liberty? No, but all that gets pissed down the drain because Moms for Liberty wants to go after libraries to ban books they don't like that are immediately going to get replaced, or they're never going to get banned in the first place, or they're going to get handed out to kids for free after some parent buys them and hands them out. It's just like, it's so stupid. Carrie says, sadly, it's obvious our MAGA guy is too busy bending over for Israel. Yo, ain't that the truth? Root, in my opinion, of every layer of the problem facing the U.S. and the rest of the world. I mean, I'm kind of sick of talking about Israel too, if I'm honest about it, because, I do agree with you to a certain extent, but I also think, I do think it's foolish when people say that that the left is Jewish. I mean, I just think it's foolish. Like, they're just provably not. I think that, even if you make the argument that critical race theory, critical theory, whatever, started in the Frankfurt School, which was mostly Jewish intellectuals, that is very true. You can make the argument that the Bolsheviks were mostly Jewish. That is very true. But the fact is that what we're dealing with in the United States has mutated since then. It's mutated into something else. So it doesn't come directly from the original origin points of the Jewish intellectuals that a lot of people like to blame about this. It comes from the combination of what they did, but also queer ideology and this far left radical gender ideology that has fundamentally mutated the type of Marxism that we're dealing with in this country. And I think that happened in like the 60s or the 70s. So it's not it's not correct to say in this case that they're responsible for everything, because I mean, and you can maybe I mean, I'm sure people come back with, "Oh, well, they're the ones who are responsible for queer theory." Maybe, I mean, but when I'm at these events, I don't see a whole bunch of people who are Jewish. Occasionally, there are Jewish people there, that's absolutely true, but there are also a lot of non-Jewish people there. Carrie says it's not a Jew thing, it's power under evil thing. Jewish is a covenant. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to get into that, to be honest. It's kind of like there's no winning with that question either. There's just no winning. It's like I'm not ambivalent to the idea that America is spending too much of our political power pandering to Israel and getting bent over and fucked by Benjamin Netanyahu. Like I'm not unsympathetic to that argument, but I also think it's kind of like there's nothing we can do about it. Just like there's nothing I can do about all these leftist workshops. All I can do is talk about what I'm seeing on the internet. And maybe if I talk about what I'm seeing on the internet, then maybe someday someone with actual power will actually do something about it. Because I don't influence in the Republican Party. I can't go to a Republican meeting and say, why don't you guys like pull your heads out of your asses and do this? They're going to look at me like I'm crazy. And like, I already know that because I used to go to these meetings years ago and nothing ever happened. And so it's just like, none of these political groups are serious at all. Melissa says, "You can do your best to protect kids and isolate them. Do it, do your best. When they go to school and go to college, hell, go online. They're immersed in indoctrination, so unless we are finding a way to effectively fight the actual heads of the problem, it won't matter." Yeah, it's really tough, man. I'm glad I don't have kids that are going to college, I'll tell you that. I don't know what I would do. Because there is part of me that, like, listen, I have a PhD. Like, I do actually believe the value of an education. I don't think education needs to come from elite colleges. I think education is actually better delivered in for-profit, so if I'm being very honest about it. But people don't like to hear that, but that's the truth. Um, but I don't know. I understand why the right likes to demonize education. I think it's foolish though, because they only hold themselves back from many people on the right don't have basic critical thinking skills. They just don't. I'm sorry. Like the right can say they're the side of the free thinkers all they want. Now, many people on the right do have basic critical thinking skills. So if you're feeling offended right now, you're like, Carl, I'm a conservative and I'm not dumb. Okay, fine. But if you are actually a smart conservative, you also have to admit that there are dumb conservatives on your side. There just are. And I think that there are a lot of people on the right that don't know how to think critically. I think there are a lot of people on the right that don't know how to listen. I think there are a lot of people on the right that don't know how to read. There are probably a lot of people on the left you could say all those things of too, fine, but that's no excuse. And that's what the right always does. They're like, well, what about the left? Why are you just talking about the right? What about the left? And it's like, just because the left does something doesn't mean you should actually do it too. If the left drove, this is how you have to talk to conservatives. If the left jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff too? Well, no, that's stupid. Well, exactly. So why are you doing stupid shit the left does? And then saying, well, we can do it because the left can do it. It's like, shut the fuck up. Either you want to behave differently than the left, or you know, if you're the same. Choose one. You can't choose both. But they don't think about these things. They're just purely reactionary. And this is why the left is proactively planning stuff out. The left is planning stuff out years ahead of time. While the right is sitting around twiddling their thumbs and memeing on Twitter. And it's depressing. The left has so outplayed us on just every single possible level. And so people ask, like, how do you think the left can win, Carlin? Like Trump won the election. Obviously, the left is dying. Well, I can know the left is winning by looking at the massive amount of teacher education, professional development that one organization is producing. That's probably going to impact a lot of people. It's going to impact. Let's just lowball it. Like it's going to impact minimally all of these events. Minimally, let's just, and I think this is a light number. 100,000 people, 100,000 teachers. These events are going to minimally impact 100,000 teachers. And now think of every single person, every single student that's in all their classrooms. Because this is not just going to impact teachers. Teachers are going to take things from these events and they're going to bring them into the classroom, and then it's going to impact the students. So now we're getting into the millions and millions and millions. You guys see how this works? And the right just shits on doing stuff like this. Well, that's just one small conference. That's just one small event. No one's even there. We already know about this. And they make every excuse in the world to not actually engage with what the problem is. And while they're doing that, the left just keeps on moving forward. And yeah, they hold big events and they hold small events. People act like small events don't mean anything because, like, they're obsessed with numbers and on clicks on Twitter, but small events oftentimes mean everything. As more people discover you, more people like you will develop and inspire to emerge with their own voice, power, and voice. Snowball effect. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I hope so, but maybe we'll see if more people start beating this drum. They're winning because they have tunnel vision and keep marching forward. They actually have thought out goals and work towards those goals. Yeah, that's exactly right, Reagan. The left has goals. The left knows exactly what they want to do. They work towards it all the time. And it's like the right just runs around like a bunch of unhinged retards, like making shit up as they go based on whatever they're pissed off about at any given time. So that's my little depressing moment for the day. And coming up in about an hour, we're going to be watching a queer non binary variety show on the stream, which will also be depressing. I've previewed this show. There's a grown man in a baby doll dress at the very beginning. If you're gonna come to the stream today at 5, might I suggest alcohol or drugs or I don't know, ice cream? If you're sober, like ice cream maybe could be really good. Or like mac and cheese, like some real like comfort food that's like really, really bad for you. That's what you're gonna want to bring to the stream today. You're gonna want comfort and or inebriation. And one of those 2 things. And so I think it'll be much better. Also, we do have a spy stream coming up at 8 PM tonight, so that'll be really great. That'll be a nice follow-on to the Reagan already drank a beer today? Oh, shit, Reagan. Reagan, don't make me turn you into an alcoholic, okay? Kleenex, yep, you might wanna bring Kleenex. A good burger, yo, I had a great burger the other day. I had a burger the other day that had, like it had normal jalapenos on it, and it had fried jalapenos on it, and it had, like, some cheesy, bacony fondue thing on it, and it was so good. Oh my god, I'm a sucker for anything with jalapenos on it, I'll tell you that. Anyway, so come to the stream today. We'll watch Queer Variety Show at 5, and then we will be, probably be doing a spy stream at 8 PM tonight to go inside a live leftist training, and that'll be great. And, it'll probably make us all sad and even more depressed, but at least we know what's going on, I guess. Anyway, I'm not gonna depress you guys anymore with this stream. I hope you enjoyed it or got something out of it, or it terrified you a little bit, or it made you cry, or any of these things. If you wanna support the work I'm doing and, keep being depressed about what's going on in the world, head over to my Substack. That is Karlyn, Karlyn.substack.com, and, you can sign up for $8 a month, $80 a year, or you can just, consume my content for free. Whatever. I'll see you guys on the stream. Take care. We'll talk soon.